We back at it. Episode 11. Both Sides of the Game podcast. Myself, Anthony Morrow, Coach Harold Johnson.
South
Jamaica Queens legend. And today we got a real dope, real cool guest today, man. I'm proud to interview my guy, West Charlotte Beatties Ford, Independence High School football wide receiver legend. One of my closest friends. Got a huge story to tell. Glad to give him the platform. Glad for him to be on our platform to tell the story.
No question.
And proud of everything he does. Great trainer right now. Shout out to Lil Deuce, his son, Junior, going to Catawba, wide receiver. And just a staple in the community from, definitely from where we're from. I want to introduce my guy, Collin Reese.
What's happening?
What's up, brother?
In
Appreciate
the building,
it.
for real.
Coach.
Yes, you know what it is.
Hey,
For sure.
good to be here. It's an honor. You know what I'm saying, man? When y'all came to me and presented it, I felt like I wasn't worthy of it because I don't really be on that. But hey, if my dog say let's do it, let's do it.
Come on now.
It's overdue.
Yeah,
Not
man.
with me, but just Charlotte in general. You know what I'm saying? Telling the story of football and from my perspective.
First football guest. Everything been basketball. Pretty much.
It ain't all just basketball. We might have a baseball player on here. Who
Both
knows?
sides of the game. We get anybody. Come tell your story. That's what we're here
Yes, sir.
for. What you got, Coach?
Well, first of all, let me give all praise to the Creator that created us all and sent
No
all
doubt.
His messengers.
God.
What I would like to say, being from South Jamaica, Queens, and this is the Queen City, this is for me. This is something really serious, and there's going to be a lot to come out of this whole podcast. So be on the lookout for it. The blueprint of football in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I said blueprint because when I look at the Panthers, we're going back before them. So,
Absolutely.
Colin, I'm just going to call you Reese, all right? How about that? Man, you from Charlotte originally, right?
Yeah, born and raised.
Okay. And what side?
The West Side.
West side. Okay, the real side. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It ain't but one.
Hey,
All right.
It's
all right.
only one.
West side crew here. Okay. Let's just travel back down memory lane. When did you first pick up a football?
Probably about 5, 6 years old. Playing in, how we did, playing in the yard with my cousin. I had an older cousin that played at Hardin High School.
Right.
He went on to play at University of South Carolina. Me and his brother was the same age. He was about 10 years older than us. So going to those football games, going to see him play in the yard, playing with his brother,
Right.
we trying to emulate what they doing. That's why, that's where it started, really.
Wow.
Over there in Wonderwood.
5 years old.
Yeah.
wow.
5 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what caught your eye about really this, I'm going to take this serious, like moving, saying, I'm really going to, try to be an NFL player. Like, what really made, what was the turning point, so to speak?
Shoot, that happened at a young age. Seeing guys I wanted to be like first, like my big cousin. I remember going into the house. His mama used to fuss at me because I would always stop in the living room and look at the trophies like I never seen them. I'm talking about,
Wow.
I'll be over there every day, but he had so many, I'm going to look at every one.
Right.
So that and once really, like you say, going to the NFL, shoot, it wasn't until I met Curtis Lee.
Wow.
That was, I watched football and I saw Jerry Rice and I wanted to be like that.
Right.
But
I knew he was going to say Jerry Rice.
Actually having a guy that played in the league, played my position, and me and that's C.J. Leak's dad.
Right.
Me and him becoming like brothers, and I got a guy right here in my face. I'm walking in their house and I see his pictures on the wall when he played with Green Bay, when he played with Pittsburgh, and he's actually there to show me how to run routes. That's when I knew it was actually, okay, I can.
Wow.
It's something that I might be. He from the same side, grew up on Double Oaks Road. So
this is some
it
serious
was somebody I could
information.
relate to. You know what I'm saying? So having that's about 10 years old, that's when I'm like, okay, he's showing me exactly what he had to do to make it. So
now we're talking about the Chris Leak brother. This is how many? 3 of them? What?
2 boys.
2 boys.
3 girls.
Yeah, and the dad, right?
The dad played in the league, right. And so I met CJ probably 10 years old through my cuz John Perry. So I would be spending the night over cuz house, and he had him and CJ played for South Park together. I played for Powell South, PAL.
Right.
Revolution, shout out to them. That was my first start in football. Yeah. When, 7 years old, when I ain't know nothing about football. Yeah. But being out there at PAL, you either play, if you was a West Side kid or from the hood, you playing for North or South. Powell North or Powell South. North was off of Oak Line. Yeah. North, I told you, Beatties that's Northwest Charlotte. South was off of Remount, West Boulevard. That's Southwest Charlotte.
Right.
So, because I had family that played for South, I went with cuz and played with South. Right. South taught me how to be a killer. Like, it wasn't nothing but a bunch of nappy head hood kids out there. You either you with the smoke or you ain't with the smoke. And if you ain't, you go home.
You welcome.
Them your folks.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Now both North and South had it. They had it, but getting over there, that taught me how. They gave me that dog.
Right.
You was either gonna be, like I say, you was gonna be with it or you wasn't.
So when we're talking about, because you got 1,000 yards, right? At Independence.
Yeah.
Finish 1,000 yards.
Which now, 1,000.
Yeah, it's like back then though. That was
back then that was a lot.
Yeah, back then. But
you can't throw that under the rug.
Nah, but it was guys that came before me that I was chasing, like Randolph Slade, Steve Shipp, Maurice Staley. Wow. Those were the guys.
Steve, that's
Jordan Shipp.
That's Jordan Shipp daddy.
Yeah.
Daddy
so
live over there.
My sophomore year in West Charlotte, he was a senior.
Okay.
So he parade All-American, headed to Florida. So I'm looking at that every day. You know what I'm saying? And that's like big bro. So, I was obsessed with it. So I felt like if I want to be like that, I got to be around him and do whatever he doing. If he working out, I'm working out. If he chilling, I'm chilling, whatever it was. So that was the standard. First, as far as wide receiver that I saw. Right. Maurice Staley.
So you looked up to him like, I'm going to follow this.
Staley was that guy. Staley.
So your journey, let's talk about the journey into high school. Yeah. And then how did you wind up at the Powerhouse Independence? Like you're holding that flag. You're holding it. How you wind up there?
That was really, man, truthfully, that was God, because I started out at West Meck. West Meck was like, gonna lean on me. I was playing football, but you had to keep your head on the swivel at West Meck. So I left. That was 9th grade. 10th grade, I get to West Charlotte. Right. At the time, West Charlotte was legendary. They just came off state championship.
So West Charlotte was the team.
Oh yeah, West Charlotte was it.
Wow.
I mean,
my mom them went to West Meck, bro. It was
West Meck was crazy, bro. We was out of school early, like every other week, because something going on. It was crazy. Okay. No, I'm talking about where it was going down. It was West Meck.
Right.
West Charlotte, the year West Charlotte won the state, I was at West Meck as a freshman.
Yeah.
And back then, all the schools didn't have 9th grade, so I couldn't go to West Charlotte. I had to go to West Meck because they had 9th grade.
Right.
And so once I was able to, move up to the 10th grade, I went to West Charlotte. Right. And so getting there, just the history, the culture, before Tommy Knox was there, it was Bruce Harden. Both of them legendary coaches, but Knox by far is the greatest coach to ever touch the Carolinas.
This guy's no joke.
Yeah. So, I mean, I saw him because my cousin played for him at Harden. The rivalries was Harden, West Charlotte. They was same type school. Then Knox left West Charlotte and left Harden and went to West Charlotte.
Right.
Built the powerhouse there. And I remember going to games. The games at West Charlotte, if you stayed on Beatties and you lived in University Park or anywhere, that was like a black college. Like the whole neighborhood walking to the games, band marching down the street.
I can only imagine that scene.
Yeah, it was crazy. So my mom went to the Dub, my uncle's cousin. So it was like West Charlotte was where you gonna go, So
what led you? What made you go? Yo, listen.
To the eye.
I'm going over to Independence. I'm gonna lay
I'm gonna tell you. So CJ was at South Meck, and I don't know what his situation was. I don't think things was going right. So he transferred to Independence our junior year. Wow. Just so I wasn't really, at first when he transferred, I wasn't thinking about transferring. I was thinking about staying in West Charlotte. And so my 10th grade year, I was ineligible academically because, like I told you, I'm coming from West Mac. I ain't even thinking about that. And, so grades wasn't right.
That's a good point.
I played JV.
Right.
So practice and whatever. Once I found out I wasn't eligible, when I wasn't eligible, Knox had me come out and still stay at practice, do whatever he needed me to do. Playoffs come out, he moved me up to playoffs to practice with varsity, something he really didn't do for a kid that didn't play all season. So I practiced. So coming into my junior year, I'm like, yeah, I'm finna play, based off of how he was treating me. So we doing 7-on-7, and I ain't getting no burn. So I'm like, oh man. So Keith Mackins, shout out to him.
Shout out to Keith.
He
Mackins.
like, bro, just chill. You gonna get your shot. So at the same time, I'm staying on the forward. So they open up Vance, and I get a letter saying, oh, you got to go to Vance. I'm like, man, I'm not trying to go to no brand new school.
Right.
So. I'm deciding I'm not trying to do that. I don't know what's going on at the Dub. It was funny because going into my junior year, me and my teammates from West Charlotte, we went to Carolina camp, Chapel Hill. So I got on the West Charlotte helmet. So once I didn't know if Knox was going to be able to keep me in West Charlotte. I didn't get a feedback. So Kurt hit me up, CJ there. He like, hey, man, you need to come over here. I'm like, yeah. He taught me how to play the game. That's my quarterback from young age. We talked about playing high school ball together. That's no brainer.
About Leak
CJ.
CJ Leak.
Right. Yeah, so by the time we head to South Carolina camp, I got on the Independence helmet. So my dogs at West Charlotte, they like, what's going on? Because at the time,
ready to step to you.
Yeah, at the time we
could go there.
At the time West Charlotte and Independence rivals because of Ship and shout out him and D'Angelo Lloyd. Both of them were parade All-Americans at the time. Wow. So, man, they sold out Memorial Stadium. Wow. So I'm going from one rival team to the next.
Right.
So I get there this summer. We balling. So, I didn't have time a whole offseason to work with CJ. So our junior year, I probably had 3 touchdowns, 300 yards. He had another guy, shout out Kevin Covens. And Kevin, he was the first to break independent school record. He broke Red Springs. That was Mark May receiver. He broke his record.
Wow. Mark May receiver.
Yeah, Mark May. Shout out Mark
Drake
May.
May just got drafted.
That's my dog.
All the Mays. Whole family like that.
So playing at Independence, that's the first person you hearing about is Mark May. Because he was I want to say he was all-state basketball, baseball, and football.
Man.
Yeah.
Good information.
So his jersey was up. And his couple other guys. So coming there, of course they had D'Angelo Lloyd already. He left and went to Tennessee. Right. And CJ get there. So before CJ get there, Independence known for a defensive team. And they hadn't really been one of the top teams until D'Angelo Lloyd got them back, back
really?
up there. Single-handedly as a
I hope you guys listen to this. This is some information.
Yeah, so
Charlotte history.
Like I say, that first year I got to Independence, we were stacked. We had some talent. Now, I know all my West Charlotte homies, they're gonna be like, hey. Now, West Charlotte when we went to camps and we outside of the city, everybody talking about West Charlotte. Every school, every coach, they know the Dub because they had been there. Right. But for me and CJ, we like, Independence here. We finna show them it's another team in the city other than West Charlotte.
Did you beat West Charlotte, by the way?
No, we ain't beat them.
Wow.
We ain't beat them. So they gonna forever have that. Now, our best time that we could have beat them was my junior year.
Okay.
My junior year, that was a game. It was close.
Y'all played there or at?
No, we played at Memorial Stadium. So,
at Memorial. Oh yeah,
sophomore year.
I remember those games.
Sophomore year when Ship and D. Lloyd was playing, they was like the premier guys, and we had Keith, we had Rashad Harris. Shout out him. We were stacked. Jamal Woods, he was a hooper, but he was nice on that field.
Good on the field.
And Independence had a stacked defense. They were solid, and that was that first game at Memorial Stadium between Independence and West Charlotte. It was sold out. Then we came that next year. I want to say all 3 games were sold out.
Wow.
And that back then, like they remodeled it now, but it was more. The stadium was a little bit bigger then.
Yeah, let's talk about your route running. What was your strength? Did you go long? Did you go across the middle?
Oh man, shoot!
Like give me a little.
I did it all. Shoot.
You had 1,000 yards. They just didn't give you that.
I was running routes since I got with CJ. Like going from PAL, they ran the wishbone. You putting the ball in your best athlete's hand, the quarterback, running back. We ain't really throw it, but going over to the Park Road Buccaneers and working with Curtis and him showing me routes that I ran. The route
This was
tree.
your youth days going over to the
so
Buccaneers,
that same
right?
route tree, comebacks, curls, all that. I'm running in my high school, so we didn't even really. I didn't play middle school ball. Me and CJ, we played youth ball all the way to high school and went straight to high school because
CJ was he's the one flinging it to you.
he was throwing.
Wow,
CJ Lee.
that's something to look at.
Shout out to him. So
got some footage of that laying around anywhere?
Coach
Go figure it out.
He got everything.
He's the guy. He got
Yeah.
Kurt,
You gotta
Kurt got everything.
Yeah,
but,
shout out to D, the camera guy. He's here.
Shout out.
So,
Yeah.
Brethren.
Yeah.
But man, the route running was a thing. Yeah, and it came in at a young age. Then getting to West Charlotte around. Shout out Coach Strong. He was a stickler for running solid routes. Being around Ship, he was a route runner. So they kind of gave me the blueprint. It was different people around. At different stages.
So you had how many touchdowns did you have, by the way?
So my stats my senior year, I had 1,058 yards, 48 catches, 9 touchdowns, 10 games.
Wow.
So I averaged like 20 yards a catch, but we was only throwing about 19, 20 times a game.
Wow.
And the offense was real vanilla. We
Freaking
ran
good numbers
mirror
there.
routes on each side. So if I got to come back on this side, he got to come back on that side.
Yeah.
And shoot, we had a running game, but CJ was like a young Dante Culpepper. He was 6'4", 215, running a 4.5.
I wanna just say this for people watching. In the city of Charlotte, CJ Leak, I went to school with Chris.
Yeah.
Chris Leak was like the prodigy. CJ was like that
When y'all was at
before.
Selma?
We went to Beverly Woods
Beverly
Elementary.
Woods.
Then we went to Carmel for like a year.
Okay.
And then that's when OG Kurt got him over there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But just to give people a little bit of background on what you're saying, bro, this is real. Those the best quarterbacks I've ever seen in my life.
No doubt.
And like Chris, we was in the 4th, 5th grade. He throwing that thing 30, 40, 50 yards.
Oh, yeah.
That's when you had the little orange
Easy.
plastic football. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I wanted to ask you though, bro, like, because like Coach had brought it to Coach Point, like you had over 1,000 yards, 48 catches, 9 touchdowns, 10 games. I want to ask, like, how would you fit, like, in this generation? Because I always think about that with basketball. Like, I'm like, man, Ma, you had me too young. Like, they giving these people $200 million. So I'm like, what do you feel football-wise, your game, when you were in your prime, in this generation's football, like NFL? You know, or college or NFL?
I ain't even gonna take it that far. That after me and CJ left, when Chris came on the scene, when Knox came over, I took that. Shoot, you had Mario Rayleigh. I want to say he had 2 seasons. Mario, shout out to him. Now that's my little bro, like protege. He was around it. Yeah. So Mario was a freshman my senior year. Right. Him and Chris, what was Chris sophomore year, Mario junior year.
Yep.
He probably had, I don't know if that season he had 100 catches, but he had about 100 catches.
Wow.
The next year he came back about 80 to 90. But that's just him. The other receiver, I want to say Brad was up there. Brad and Eric Lyons, shout out to them. Brad Hinton. They had, Chris had 3 receivers. Mario might have had about 18.
He had Muhammad Massaquoi.
That was Chris'
and
senior year, I want to say, when
Hakeem
Muhammad
Nicks.
came.
So let's be clear here. We just and again, listen. It's just these questions are coming to my head, and this is again. I thank you for coming on. So you basically picked up the banner, the whole independence. Like you said, listen, come behind me.
Without knowing it, you know what I'm saying? Like at the time, I wasn't thinking about this. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, hey, I'm trying to because Charlotte was different. Like, no knock to the Hoopers. That's all we heard about. You know what I'm saying? The football players, we got tired of hearing about Charlotte Hoop State, North Carolina Hoop State, or you out of state, you arguing with some dudes in your room, you at a camp, and we got all the football players, y'all ain't got nobody. So we took that personal. You know what I'm saying? We wanted to be, and then I want to say the Panthers came, 95, 96.
95. So
they wasn't good. So it was a time in Charlotte when the high school football players was like pro athletes. You know how we got treated being out. You know, if you was a guy that was from the hood, from the city, and shoot, man, we were getting treated like stars. You know, we were getting treated like pro players.
And just to think about it, the guys like you mentioned, that come behind was what's the guy named the other wide receiver that was with Hakeem.
Muhammad Massaquoi.
And you know, you think about those guys in Leak, the Leak brothers, you playing with CJ, like I'm being honest. When I moved here, Independence, I went to a game over there. I thought I was freaking college game. You know, the first time I ever seen them practice, I'm thinking I'm going to walk in the football field, see the guys done. They had a black thing covering. You couldn't even look at it. Look at their practice. You couldn't even look at it. And I'm like, so I said, yo, man, I don't think I can get in it. I'm with a guy, Mr. Dow Rankin. His son was linebacker, DJ over there. So he said, yo, man, I want to show you something. Show you this Independence practice. I'm like, these guys practicing like college guys.
Oh, by then they was rolling. They was probably 1 or 2
So the point I'm making is having you on here today, man, is straight up special to me, man.
Appreciate it.
You like you picked the flag up. Like it wasn't no flag until you picked it up.
Hey, man, I ain't.
You got to take that. You got to take that.
Say I got to take it.
You got to take that.
You know,
we stamping you with that.
On the offensive side, CJ, man,
CJ told me. So what we gonna do?
You say CJ told you. I was kind of like coming to West Charlotte. I mean, coming from West Charlotte to Independence, I knew the quarterback that was there. Keith, he was All-American. And I'm like, okay, he got 1 more year. He'll grade ahead of me, but I can go over here and get 2 years with CJ. And I knew he was the next guy. So going
paved the way. You paved the way.
Yeah, I mean, it took. I let it last a couple years, then I can say that.
You one of the pioneers, though, dog.
Yeah, man, we got to jump in. We got to jump in.
I mean, y'all had to like back then, bro. Like
it was different.
High school football in Charlotte, right around that time.
It started taking off media wise. Like
but
like
I'm talking about you had to just be at a West Charlotte football game, bro.
It was
or Independence football game. Even outside, what's that like Cabarrus?
A.L. Brown.
A.L. Brown.
So what I was just telling somebody today, matter of fact, me and CJ might have been talking about it. Our senior year, I don't think Charlotte had ever had. CJ was 5-star, parade All-American. Nick Maddox was 5-star, parade All-American. Then you had Jason Parker, who's top high school basketball player.
It was lit.
It wasn't never a time in Charlotte and the surrounding areas, I don't think, that it was guys like, I mean, I ain't going to say ever, but in our era.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. That it was going down like that, especially football. And so it brought some stuff. I mean, being at Independent, I was at West Charlotte. Coaches came through, but I ain't never see Joe Paterno, doggone Bobby Bowden, Lou Holtz. All of them walked in the school to see CJ. Yeah, you know, bro. It was going down that year. You know what I'm saying? So we interviewing on ESPN, Scholastic Sports, you know, just crazy stuff that was going on. And then Chris came and made it look like we ain't go there.
Chris Leak now, what is he doing?
He down in Florida training quarterbacks.
Right.
He got a company, Airstrike.
Yeah.
He
so I didn't really get to see CJ play like that. Like I saw him a couple times.
Chris was like
he was special, but I grew up with Chris.
Yeah.
So I knew what he was gonna be. You know what I'm saying?
And it was everything Chris did, like he was a culmination of what me and CJ wanted to do. Like all them times I'm spending the night over their house and we up talking about, you know, playing high school ball together, what we want to do, what we want to accomplish. Shoot, every workout we had, Chris out there.
Chris Williams,
you know. Yeah, he there. Right? Oh no, he was there. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it was a different. I feel like what we were able to be a part of with CYFL, Paul Road Buccaneers, like even with youth ball, my first year playing with CJ, no lie, I probably caught 15 touchdowns. Running routes. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it was. I ain't saying no other teams was throwing the ball, but I don't think nobody was throwing it like we were, you know, youth ball. And we was able to take that to high school, and I mean West Charlotte was putting it in the air once we got to high school. But, and then South Mac had some guys with Colin Harris and Randolph Slade, and he had some numbers. But I just feel like what we did at Independence was significant because of what came after.
You guys,
you know what I'm saying? It just after me, I was just one of the ones, but it was Mario Rayleigh, Brad Hinton, Eric Lyons, Massaquoi, Hakeem,
Super Bowl.
Jason Barnes. You know, it was a list of receivers that goes on. But you know,
listen, man,
and quarterbacks.
You got to give respect where respect is due. Yeah. See, that's one thing about this podcast. We don't sugarcoat nothing. We don't hide nothing.
Never.
Yeah, we here with the one who got the blueprint, who put them on the map. You know, and that's what it's about. That's what makes our podcast so special. It's real.
Yeah.
Now tell us something about Moro. Touch on that with him about the business part. I know you has a part of that.
Get to the business. I got you. I want to shout out Deuce, man.
Yeah. My dog.
That's his son. That's
the better
Collin
part
Reese
of me.
Jr.
Yeah. Shout out to him. Headed to
I want to
school.
say the work he put in and watching him. I feel like I watched him grow up since a baby. I've been knowing you that long.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about, because we got boys. My daughter, and the knowledge, like the approach of knowledge to him. Shout out to him. He's going to Catawba, full ride.
Shout out.
He's gonna break all their records.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of him. Shout out to little dudes. That's my nephew. But tell me about, like, in terms of just like the game and how we approached it, and translating that to them, like transitioning it, like giving them that game from what we had to do in our upbringing, because it's different now than it was then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Talk about that a little bit, bro, before we get to the business.
With him having your son, me being a trainer and a coach and all that, and having experienced it at a young age, watching Chris and CJ, what their dad did with them, you kind of be around people, you take what you need from them and use it. So I learned a lot from seeing that and seeing what was done with us, that work ethic and how we went about it, and it was calculated. You had to be there every day, but I didn't force him in. I ain't really worked with him until he was like 7th, 8th grade. As far as a trainer, I let him play basketball, football, baseball, run track, play every sport you want to play, And then once it got time for him to, or the game got serious and he had a dominant sport, that's when we started working. Right. But shoot, man, it was tough. You know what I'm saying? It was tough.
Yeah.
They don't always, being a father, you don't want to push it too much.
Right.
And you know how we came up, we was some straight killers, some dogs. So it was only one way. And with these younger kids, it ain't one way. You don't want to shut them down. So it was definitely a balance. You know what I'm saying? But that's, out of everything I ever did, that's probably my greatest accomplishment.
That's what's up.
I done worked with many athletes who train train other guys, and I done had guys that I had since high school that go on to go to college, go to the league, but it don't matter if your own child don't benefit from it.
Right.
So to be able to, that was the whole point of me starting my business and doing what I was doing, because of what I went through from my experience, from being an All-American to going to Hargrave to dealing with college stuff, going through that whole process, not really knowing the system, and me being a first-generation college student, in my family, immediate family. No, I ain't had nobody around to give me that type of advice. Right. So using all those resources, I definitely put it into my son, from the training aspect to the academics. One thing he wasn't going to do was have an academic problem. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't no problem.
Playing around with that.
No, not at all. So the goal was to get academic scholarship and football money. So he did that. And it's really, with him going to the school that I finished at, that's full circle and a surreal moment. Because if you would have asked me when I was leaving out of there, would he? Heck, no, he wasn't going there. But it's it's a different staff. School is great. I would never let my experience be his. You know what I'm saying? So to see what he was able to accomplish, to see him put in his own work. You know what I'm saying? I ain't want him trying to live up to me. I want you to be better than me. Right. I want you to make it. I don't want nobody to remember me. Remember you. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's all about. Not just with him, but just everybody I work with, all the kids I come in contact with.
Hey, man, you got to keep that Reese name going, bro.
And my daughters. I got my two girls, they on the softball field, doing their thing,
It's all legacy, bro.
Yeah.
Keep that name ringing forever, bro. That's important. That's what's important.
Sure.
You touched on it a little bit. We kind of finished up with, we got both sides of the game podcast, but it's both sides of the business. And you got your training company. The train me had me out there running routes like Jerry Rice. Randy
had
Moss.
to get the feet work.
My footwork was bad.
It was terrible.
He got me right, though. It gave me a couple more years in the league.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, dog.
Yes.
But we're going to talk about the training company, bro, like the business side, like get the people like where they can find you, and talk about like your passion and your training. Because I work with you, bro.
Yeah.
It's the knowledge is there.
Man, really.
You should get more notoriety than a lot of people that I see on Instagram.
Yeah.
So that's why the platform is here again. So just get
the
people
crazy
everything,
thing, man. The training, I really didn't want to train. Before I even, what my dream was to play in the league and all that, but I had bigger goals than that. God was giving me things to do. I wanted to do what I'm doing, but do it on a much larger scale, build my own facility, do it in my community, make it free, do all the stuff that you want to do to shoot that you doing.
Right.
So once I didn't make it and didn't have that money to fund it, I was praying and, talking to God about how can I still do what you want me to do. So once I came back to coach at Independence. Shout out Coach Gala. He was Knox's assistant head coach. Yeah. He took over when he left and gave me my first job coaching. Wow. So, and the crazy part is I wasn't coaching to coach. I was coaching because I was still trying to play, and I just needed somewhere free to work out and kids work. Yeah, so I wasn't really thinking about that until because I just came back from playing arena ball in Colorado, and I started liking it. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing the kids benefit from it. Shout out my first guy, Wope Kofa. He played for me at Independence, went on to go to UNCC, but he was my first kid I was hands-on with through the whole process. And his situation kind of reminded me of mine, single-parent home and where he was coming from. And being able to do that, and it was like, now or never, you know what I'm saying? I had to do it. Once I got into it, starting the brand and the name Endure Sports. Just
tell them where to find you at.
At Endure on Instagram, Endure Sports.
Yeah.
Hit me up. Get that work in. But no, the name
I made him
came,
get on Instagram too, Coach. He
got me popping on Instagram. I wasn't even on the gram.
Right. What are you waiting on?
I was just working. I'm one of the ones that be in the background, just be grinding and get to the work, but I had to change.
It's a new era. Got to put it out there.
He put me on.
Got to put it out there.
I had to, but my dog got to get out there. They got to see.
No question.
But no, dog, the journey as an athlete, not just an athlete, just as a young black male, you're gonna have to endure. And
I like that.
It's some stuff you're going to have to go through that you already know. Being an athlete, you got to go through this off-season grind. Right. But it's going to be a benefit on the other end when you make them deposits. So it applied to everything in my life that I was dealing with at the time. And it's been a blessing. It's been gratifying. It's crazy, things that you wanted to do, you get to help other people do. So I ain't going to say live vicariously through them, but their success is like, that's all you want.
But like you said, God, God gave you something to do.
Yeah.
For me, I can touch on that. I was in a situation. I'm not going to go into
Coach,
deep.
yeah, man.
But I was in I was in a situation, right? I was in a situation that I always hear people say, "Oh, I asked God for this. I asked God to give me this. I asked God to change this. I asked God to do this." And I said to myself, I said I really needed help at the time. Mm-hmm. I was in a situation where it was just nowhere to go. I didn't know, and I got on my knees and I said, God, give me something that you wanted me to do for you.
Yeah.
Show me it.
Mm-hmm.
I said, show me what you want me to do for you. Show me it. And I said, when you feel it's time for me to get back into the world, then you do that. And what he showed me, the vision he gave me was helping kids. So you touched on that earlier.
Yeah.
And I never went away with it. I never pushed that to the side. Because that's something that I asked him, show me what you want me to do for you.
Mm-hmm.
See the difference. And
So, because it's bigger than
and I'm
us.
still doing that today.
Got to.
I made a call for a kid today. School.
Yeah.
Kid's a senior up in New York, played for Far Rockaway High School, 6'4". Coach called me, he said, Harold, I know you still know kids. I know you're still helping kids. I said, I got one for you. Played in my old high school.
Mm-hmm.
Called the coach, boom, boom, boom. Now the kid's going to have a prep school. So we constantly helping.
Yeah.
Same thing with him training. He's still giving.
I was about to get into that.
Still,
where is that kid at? Yeah. He need to come to Charlotte. I got him. I got
you know what?
I got to work for him.
You know what? We got your academy coming, the Anthony Memorial Basketball Academy. They're coming down to see you.
Coach, man, don't give, man.
Let's go.
We got to give him. We got to give him.
Calm down.
We both sides of the game, man.
Both sides of the game. You know what time it is.
West Charlotte, man. Ain't nothing sweet about West Charlotte.
I'll say this, bro, in closing, man. Unless, Coach, you got something. I want to say.
Good.
You good? I'm going to say this in closing, man.
Yeah.
Bro, we've been rocking. You my guy. You know that, bro. You my brother. You got me motivated to train.
How deep is
I
that?
should have been doing that.
I've been
How
telling
deep
you.
is
telling you,
that?
telling me.
Been
Like
telling
that's,
you.
but see, that's the kind. This is what this is about.
Yeah.
Motivation, inspiring the guys, man, and the women, everybody, the kids, of course, like everything coming together, bro. Like people don't even know most of the things you just said because you ain't talked about it. They don't know what you really mean to Charlotte football, high school football. Like you don't know that.
sure.
Before the Panthers.
Before the Panthers.
You say before the
Yeah,
Panthers.
man. People showing their age, it's okay.
Hey, for
But
real.
look, but no, man. You know, it's bro, it's an honor, bro.
Man, it's an honor for me to be on here. You know,
Yeah, man. Nah, we
I
gonna
be-
keep going.
Keep it 100. I would have never met him
If it wasn't for
for
you.
you.
Come on, man. That's what we.
Hey, you know how I
Connectors.
met him? Through it's crazy. I had to go
Oh.
through somebody I ain't even know that ain't from here to meet a nigga that's from my side.
Right.
But I mean, you know, we
It's been all love.
different age groups, but through Nazi Muhammad, shout out to him.
Shout out
And
to
sir,
Hey, OG Nas.
Yeah, Nas, man,
Love
that's
him.
my guy.
Yes, sir.
But Nas actually linked me up with Ant. I was working with Nas, and he was like, man, you got it. They was in OKC together around that time.
Yeah.
He was like, man,
Yep.
you caught me on the back end, but you got to get with Ant. You need him.
Yeah.
And man, once we linked up, it was a wrap. From then, it was straight
So
brotherhood.
networking, connecting, keeping it real.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
but it's
network.
never. It was all God, man. It was.
Go back
it
to what
was-
you were saying, Coach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Let me
saying?
tell you something in closing. You know, I ain't no preacher, right? And
But
I
you
ain't
got a
trying-
story to
and
tell,
I
bro.
got-
Testimonial.
But let's keep it 100.
Oh, got to.
You have to keep God first.
got to.
Talk to him.
Period.
Coach. Talk to
Yeah.
him, Coach.
Nothing else. Because he's the answer.
No doubt.
And he's the reason why we sitting here today on this podcast talking
doubt.
about real life situations. You know, football. We on football right now, but look what we getting out of this football podcast.
Yeah.
We getting the richness.
Hey, shout
this
out
town.
to sorry to cut you off. All the
No, you
guys
ain't
that
cut
just
me
got
good.
drafted that's from the city this past weekend. We had a lot of guys.
Oh, man.
Starting with Drake May, but
Shout out
he
to
wasn't the
Drake
only
May.
one. Tez Walker.
Yes, yeah. Carolina.
A couple other guys. I don't know that some of them I don't know, but at least about 4 or 5 of them they got drafted from the city.
Could I share
And
this?
surrounding.
I know it might be a little,
Do your thing,
but
Coach.
CJ, may he rest in peace. You know,
Yeah.
I took a break once I heard that he passed. He gave us an interview, and he passed on.
Yeah.
And I don't, I'm a little short for words, but it was just, I couldn't get back on the podcast after that. I didn't want to get back. I even told you, I said, I don't want to post nothing. I just, but I just want to say that he shared something with me about what we was doing. And he said, this, you don't know. He said, I just want you and Morrow, you guys, to stay with this. And he spoke about D. He said, who's the camera guy? He said, this is just real. This is just the last thing he said to me.
D finna be famous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was you tripping. No, I'm saying.
But that's what I wanted to just to, before we end. And we got some other people coming on. CJ, scout in the NFL for the Saints.
Yeah.
CJ
Shout out
Lee.
CJ Lee.
Hopefully down the line
CJ Lee.
we'll get Chris in here, Hakeem. Shout out to him. Super Bowl champs. It's a lot of richness here.
Yeah.
We're going to be hearing from everybody, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Football.
you know everybody coming out.
Yeah. We
Yes,
want you to
sir.
come out. So you want to just go ahead and close?
Yeah, I'll close. I'll say it again too. We did shout out and rest in peace to Coach CJ Clarence
man.
Johnson, man.
Clarence Johnson.
I'm talking about one of the people. Hey, can you come to practice? My mama got to work. I'm coming to get you. All right, come pick me. All right, thank you, Coach. Go to practice. You hungry? Yeah. We're going to McDonald's, Taco Bell, Captain D. We going somewhere.
Man, if
Take
it
you
wasn't
home.
for
You got
guys
your
like
key?
that, I wouldn't.
You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't have
You
made
got
it.
that key to get back in the house? Yes, I have it. You better not lose. You know your mama gonna be on you if you. You see what I'm saying? Mama get home. You had practice? Yes, I did. It was cool. Coach CJ came and got me. Where y'all going this weekend? High Point. I can't make it. He gonna come back and get me. We're going to High Point, Greensboro. You know how that was, bro.
Yeah.
You know, Coach, you was one of them like that.
Yes, man.
So like,
Yes.
rest in peace to him.
Yeah.
I'm about to dedicate this episode to him because this is like our first one since he passed.
We gotta do that.
Shout out to Coach CJ for real, man.
This is for you,
and
man.
episode 11, man. We back at it.
It's in the book.
The team back together.
Hey.
D, I love you.
Yo, I don't want to make him laugh, but CJ did say, yo, your man is equipment over here. That stuff is good. I've seen some of the work.
He got the real work. Hey, D famous. Hey, look, he got it.
He got it.
But I appreciate it, man. Hey, brother.
Appreciate you, dog. You already know.
Both sides of the game.
Both sides of the game.
You want to know where it's from? It's from North Carolina, in Charlotte.
Yes,
just know that.
Thanks, Coach. Hey, episode 11, man. We out, brothers.
Yes,
love is love.
And ladies and gentlemen, we're out of here. Love you.